As February dawns upon us here in Kansas, that tells you that the end of the Jayhawk hockey season is upon us. Hello, everybody, and welcome inside Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. Alongside my partners for tonight, not just partner, but partners for tonight, Jack Maurice and Daniel Schmidt. I'm Ryan Cartman, bringing you the final series of the year for the Jayhawks, as well as the St. Louis Billikens as well. And what a ride it has been, gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, if you hated two of us, get ready to learn three of us. It's going to be a blast, Ryan. Really looking forward to this game. And, you know, SLU's got some talent, but things haven't really gone their way this year. And it's kind of the same way on the Jayhawk side with a little better results. So this one should be a good one.
Absolutely. And, I mean, what's better than two commentators when we have three of them in all? It's just everything that everybody loves to hear when they watch the Jayhawk Hockey YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, that we got to put one of you guys in between the benches, you know, like Pierre McGuire of old NBCSN working with Doc Emmerich. But, hey, we're here either way, and we're ready for hopefully a good couple KU wins to end the season. That's what Andy McConnell was telling me before the game, is that KU's just looking to end the season on a high note to extend some momentum into next year, which will be ever so important.
Absolutely, Ryan. I think we can all agree that no Doc Emmerich impressions tonight. This season has just been very turbulent. It's been lots of ups and downs, but I think the Jayhawks can take a lot out of this last series to get them ready for the next season coming up here.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much young talent on this team. They're only losing a couple seniors, yet they are very important seniors that will be honored tomorrow. But the future's bright for KU. I mean, they have a ton of freshmen. I mean, we just got to bring up Rowan Vaughn and Harry Ibis. Those are two big forwards that have really stepped up and grown into their own this year for the Jayhawks, and I know people are excited to see what they can do over the next 3 years.
Yeah, Ibis, of course, the lone goal scorer from that series last weekend against the Tigers, and one that the Jayhawks got outscored in 15-1. But, talking with the Jayhawk players and the coaching staff, it's something that you just have to put behind, and you got to keep your head up and get ready to win these last two games of the season and bring it all for what you have this weekend. And let's see what the Jayhawks will be bringing this weekend. The starting lineup for tonight, as written in by head coach Andy McConnell for the Hawks, puts Kai Vetter behind the net, played 5 out of 6 periods last weekend against the Tigers.
Absolutely, man. Kai Vetter, I don't think the scores of those last two games really, define how he's been playing. Kai has had an incredible season. He's only a sophomore. Getting to watch his freshman season was excellent. He really showed a lot of bright flashes, and I think it's only going to get better from here on out. He still had a great game last Saturday against the Tigers here at Advent Health Sports Park. A lot of the goals that were scored on him weren't necessarily his fault. They were a lot of bad bounces and things that he just got beat on. And if it's a 3-on-0, there's not really much you can do about that. Yeah,
just a couple defensive miscues that I know they wish that they could get back from last weekend, but Kai Vetter still had 2 ridiculously good periods, including the second period, which is arguably, I think, the best period the Jayhawks have played all year. That was second period Saturday, where there was no scoring, but it was a great high-energy second period.
Yeah, and as we look at the Jayhawks defenders, the Jayhawks team come out on the ice, it is going to be the age-old duo, the seniors, their last weekend together, Zach Roberts and Blake Hearn, the age-old duo.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about what this team is, you talk about Zach Roberts and Blake Hearn. Those are two guys who have really been around and really helped a lot of these players come into their own, especially a lot of the young guys. And I know they're going to be missed a lot. And that defense is going to be the one thing that's really going to be ravaged this summer. I mean, they're going to lose a lot of really, really good senior defensemen. So I know that they're looking to build on that. But these guys are looking to go out on a high note. So they're going to be playing a little different, I think, this weekend compared to usual.
Yeah, and Jack,
See, this is going to be how we got to get used to with the three of us going here. There's going to be so much that we all want to talk about.
I'll let you take the forward group, Jack. Starting forwards, same as last Saturday's game against Mizzou. It's going to be Ibis, Siddons, Feeney going left to right. Brett Siddons, the captain for the Jayhawks.
We go in SLU starting lineups as well here.
Well, I was going to ask what you thought about the starting lineup for the Jayhawks, starting forwards.
Oh, come on, dude. I love this starting lineup. It's been a treat to watch all year. Harry Ibis has just been an incredible addition to the Jayhawks roster. He adds so much speed, so much just skill, so much playmaking that the Jayhawks, I feel like, have kind of missed since the departure of Tyler Nelson last year.
Yeah, as we take a look at the Billikens starting lineup, as you're getting to, Jack, starting in net tonight for St. Louis, it's going to be Max Belly, the freshman out of St. Louis.
For the Slew on defense, we'll be having Matthew Marowitz, Evan Lepresti, or not Evan Lepresti, Noah Stutzer on defense, and then for the forwards, we'll have Ryan Freitas, R.J. Lube, and John Carney, not to be confused with the Jayhawks' former player, Paul Carney Jr.
Jayhawk legend Paul Carney.
As we enter the national anthem. As you said, Jack, starting forwards for these Billikens tonight. On the left wing, it's going to be Lube, the freshman out of Downers Grove, Illinois. Center, it's going to be Ryan Freitas, the sophomore out of Parkers, Illinois. And on the right wing, it is going to be John Carney, the sophomore out of Washington, D.C. Look at this last weekend of games for the Billikens. They dropped their last 2 home games of the season in the series to Drury University. Good team that Drury is. Lost last Saturday 4-1. Last Friday 1-0 against the Panthers. Head coach for the Billikens, Liam Knobb, and his assistant tonight, Chaz Palumbo. Dylan Kelly, the other Billikens assistant. We expect him to be here tomorrow. Billikens 8-17-2 on the year, 3-9-2 at home at the Webster Groves Ice Arena, 5-8 on the road. Jayhawks 11-9-1 on the season as we're ready to drop the puck here in Overland Park, Kansas. Stick it with us, folks, for the ride. The last series for the Jayhawks in 2025-2026 starts right now. Billikens window opening draw, and shooting that one in is Lube. Puck goes off the blocker of Vetter as Jayhawks look to exit the zone. Brett Siddons plays around with it on his stick, goes into the far corner. It's Stutzer. Stutzer around the half wall. Ibis picks it up, gives it up to Feeney. Feeney up top, Roberts down to the half wall. Roberts shot. Rebound opportunity in front of the net. Feeney couldn't get to it. It's back up at the point, though, for the Jayhawks. Down low into the slot. Intercepting that is the captain for the Billikens, Ryan Freitas, as here they come the other way. Moving into the slot. That puck went off the stick of Blake Hernan into the corner. Roberts picks it up now. Feeney tries to tip it out to Siddons. He can't. Siddons, though, gets in the way of Lepresti as here comes Ibis streaking down the left side of the ice. Ibis stops really quickly, takes a shot, trying to glove save that one was Belly, the goalie, but he was able to cover up instead as we're almost a minute into this hockey game.
Yeah, I mean, good start for both teams there. I like the way the Jayhawks have come out and been aggressive. I mean, they've had 2 good opportunities there. Haven't been able to set anything up yet, but when you give yourself opportunities like that, it's got to come eventually.
Face off to the right side of Belly's net. Won and controlled by the Jayhawks momentarily. Shot there by Vaughn goes wide of net and around the boards. Picking up that is Holtz. Logan Holtz, the freshman out of McHenry, Illinois, will dump it in behind the net of Vetter as Vetter tries to fling it around the boards, but it's intercepted by the Billikens. Shot there goes up off the stick of a Jayhawk into the far corner where both teams will battle for possession. Winning that possession battle was the Billikens. Of course, something that head coach Andy McConnell and the Jayhawks have focused on is winning those 50-50 puck battles. Jayhawks winning their share of them tonight. This is Callaghan skating down low, battling with Charlie West. Charlie West, 27-year-old law school student for the Billikens, the oldest player on the ice, as him and Callaghan are entangled, and they let loose as the puck goes away from them. In the dot, this puck is played. Lang tries to feed it on the doorstep to Vaughn, couldn't find him as the Billikens shovel this one into neutral ice.
That was really sloppy right there. They have to communicate better, Ryan. If they want to score, they need to communicate. There was zero communication there and ended up in a turnover.
Entering in is Vaughn. Vaughn splits a couple but couldn't get it on net. It's Lang picking it up at the point. Back to Vaughn. Vaughn's shot. Kick save by Belly. Near wall. Callaghan picks it up. Battling yet again with Charlie West. Charlie West has a brother on this team, John West. John is a senior. So both these men will be graduating. Charlie from law school, John from his undergrad at the end of this year as this puck is iced, and we have our second stoppage of the night.
Jack, you have any thoughts here early?
Man, I'm just having thoughts on how good how good of a jersey matchup this is. I love both of the jerseys of both these teams, man. Just being on camera tonight, having my mic on the camera as well. It's a good feeling. Most of these teams have been playing excellent so far, but SLU definitely has to be a lot cleaner on the blue line protection there.
Yeah, I will say Jack is running camera tonight, so won't be getting the best view of things. So we'll be waiting for his little one-liners or quips about what's going on in this game. Far corner now. Played by Lube. Lube shot on, saved by Vetter as we're just about 3 minutes into this one.
Yeah, I mean, Kai Vetter hasn't played a whole lot this season, but has still been a key part of this Jayhawk team. Only 4 games going into this one, Ryan, because the Mizzou games count as exhibitions, so they don't really go down on the stats. But still, I mean, phenomenal season for the sophomore.
Shot off the draw. Another rebound chance off Vetter. Another chance goes off of Kai Vetter. Kai Vetter standing like a brick wall. Billikens had chances to elevate the puck. They did not, as we remain scoreless. In the neutral ice, Aiden Siddons picks this up off his skate. Saucers it over to Bowerly. Shot on by Huber. Saved by Belly.
Yeah, another missed pass. Ended up almost working for the Jayhawks, but still they weren't in tandem there. They were caught off guard and couldn't set anything up, just kind of fired in without much emphasis on it.
Face-off coming to the right side of Belly. Puck dropped, won by St. Louis. Bowerly tries to keep it in momentarily. He does. Chasing it down is Aiden Phillips. Gloved there by Poulter. And gloved down again by Siddons. Aiden Siddons keeping it in. Trying to feed it backdoor to Huber. Huber looks up to the hockey gods after that one. He had a wide open net on his stick. Aiden Siddons loses control of it. Goes off his skates. Hearn keeps it in at the blue line. Hearn through one. Hearn's shot goes wide of the net. Huber up top to Roberts. Roberts opts for a shot. Gets deflected before it can make its way to Belly.
Ryan, they're playing down to their opponent right now. KU needs to get going here. There's not a lot of energy on the ice.
Roberts dumps this one in. No icing here. Belly off the glass and around. Siddons gloves it down off the glass. Loses it at his feet yet again as St. Louis makes its way into the neutral ice. John West tries to get it around. Kai Vetter there. Tried to shovel that one out. Couldn't. But Bowerly able to get a stick on it here. Losing an edge there.
That was a risky try by Vetter there. Ended up not hurting him, but he couldn't put it in the right spot there. Almost set him up perfectly.
Losing an edge there. That was Heighthouse, the freshman out of Florissant, Missouri. Skating back for this one is Lube. Lube to his partner in Charlie West. West going at it with Kyle Van Rossum. It's the fourth line out for the Jayhawks right now. In this fourth line for the Hawks, Kyle Van Rossum, Riley Osberg, and Mantis O'Neill. Some players for the Hawks that have seen very limited, if any, playing time at all this season. Andy McConnell before the game saying this last weekend is a chance for some of these guys to go out and prove themselves. Neutral ice. Charlie West enters in. The defenseman goes down low. Centering pass right there. Couldn't get it behind the net. It was John Carney.
This defensive pairing's not really communicating, Ryan.
That is Van Rossum. Van Rossum gets knocked down, beg your pardon, by R.J. Lube as it comes the other way now. in neutral ice. Puck played for, that's John West. Behind his net is Kai Vetter to pick that one up as we're approaching 6 minutes in to the first period. Weak pass there by the Jayhawks, easily turned over to St. Louis. Trying to headman it there. That was Markowitz, but it went nowhere. Backtracking for this one is Malcolm Johnson. He feeds it up to the captain, Brett Siddons. First line out now for Andy McConnell. Siddons feeds it to Feeney. Feeney to Ibis. Ibis shot. Kick save by Belly. Keeping it in is Zadakis barely at the blue line as he dances. Shot deflected in front of the net by Feeney and scooped up by Belly.
Yeah, Kansas has had some opportunities, but they need to build on them. They need to keep the pressure on because SLU has looked really good. They have, missed their spots at times, but they're keeping the Jayhawks at bay here. It's really anyone's game here early, Ryan.
Face off to the left of another Belly, won by St. Louis and carried up by Stutzer. Stutzer intercepted by Schubert in the neutral ice as the Jayhawks will send this one behind the net of Belly. Belly backhands it, tries to find Palter, goes beyond his stick, so Zach Schubert will pick it up to Zadakis. Zadakis shot, saved by Belly.
Another shot that just had nothing going. I mean, he had the net covered there. They need to really get some of these plays to develop, Ryan. They haven't really been given it time. They've been shot happy here early. I'm sure they'll discuss that when they get back to the bench, but they just need to let the play develop a little more.
Shot off the draw by Siddons, goes wide of the net. 5 shots on goal for KU, 3 for SLU. Backhanding it out off the glass is Stutzer, and actually our far side linesman will say hit the net, so this faceoff will come back into St. Louis defensive ice.
Not much to add here, Ryan, with the quick stoppage, but good. As much as we've talked about how they need to get a little more energy, I think that the Jayhawks have looked good, especially after what happened last weekend where they get outscored, 16-1 by Mizzou?
What were you saying there?
No, I was just saying that they have a lot of, even after last weekend, it's nice to see them come out with even just a little bit of energy.
Oh, yeah, so I thought you asked a question there, Daniel.
Yeah.
That's my fault. Looking down my notes for a second as this is Schubert behind the net. Feeds it up. Vaughn Lang. Jayhawks trying to exit. They can't. High slot shot. Saved by Vetter. Rebound opportunity goes wide of his net. Zadakis off the board, trying to feed it to Vaughn. Exiting now is Jayhawks. They're 2-on-1 if they hurry. It's Lang and Callaghan. Callaghan goes backhand. It's in! Danny Callaghan opens up the scoring for the Jayhawks with 12.5 to go in the first period.
Yeah, Callaghan, beautiful play right there. Jayhawks get a 2-on-1. End up pushing the pace there, which really was what helped them. I thought it went wide for a second, but he snuck it in with the backhand right there. Just slid it by. Not a lot of speed on it. Beautiful goal there by Danny Callaghan.
Callaghan, his 7th goal of the season, 10th point of the season, has the Jayhawks with the lead for the first time in what feels like forever. Callaghan, his 7th of the year, the freshman out of Illinois. As the Jayhawks rocking and rolling right now.
Hopefully that wakes these Jayhawks up, Ryan. Oh, no.
Here's a breakaway. This is Carney with it. Carney shot. Saved by Vetter. Rebound opportunity. Tried to feed it in off his pad. Off the right pad of Vetter was Carney. But Vetter kept that pad close to the right post and denied an opportunity there.
That's where I wish we had replay, Ryan. That was a beautiful save right there. They teach that in the textbook, I think, of when you're a goalie. I mean, he deflects it and then immediately gets that pad to the post, hugs the post, and gives him no opportunity to sneak it by and into the back of that. Keeps Jayhawks up 1-0. Beautiful piece of goaltending there by Kai Vetter.
Yeah, Kai Vetter always with that competitive mentality. Shot on Vetter, saves that one, covers up the 5-hole there. But Vetter, we always see from Kai, great compete level out of him. And man, he really is good at seeing puck movement. Of course, they're a breakaway. Not much to look at there. Just looking at the shooter's eyes, maybe looking at where his blade is. But good job there by the sophomore netminder.
Yeah, Kai's a competitor, and he brings a fire to this team when he's in the net. He gets them all fired up.
And you see him challenge the puck, too. Always comes out of his crease as well. Not afraid to challenge. As here comes Bowerly. Bowerly goes backhand. Saved by Belly as he knocks his net off on that save. Couple breakaways in these last couple sequences here, gentlemen.
Yeah, I think they're pressing a little too hard. I don't know what you think, Jack, but It's not good when you have 3 straight, breakaway opportunities where it's just the goalie and the forward.
No, absolutely, and you're giving the person that I quite honestly would not want to have on a breakaway. He's so skilled and he's so quick with his hands. That is quite honestly the last person I want on a 0-on-0.
Puck in neutral ice. Shot on, by, lose my notes here, Holtz, and that goes up into the netting out of play. Well, with stoppage.
Yeah, good start. Shots on goal 7-7. Shout out Turnpike. But Kansas up 1-0 here early. It's a good start, Ryan. This is what they need right here. And Callaghan got them started, and that's what they need to keep doing.
Shot there attempted by the Billikens off the faceoff. No good as this puck squirts all the way out. Racing for it there. That's Aiden Siddons. Siddons beats his man. Siddons behind the net. Big hit put on him there by a Billiken as Siddons gives him a shove. Might have led with the shoulder into his helmet. No penalty called there. Bowerly waits patiently. Blake Bowerly from the low slot finds Aiden Siddons, or tried to find him, with a wide open 4x6 to look at. Nothing going there. Puck deflected by a high stick in front of the net by Bowerly, but Billiken touched it first right after, so waved off there. Puck goes under the likes of John West as this is cleared down to ice. Icing waved off here. Roberts couldn't beat Stutzer to it. Those two in battle along the far boards as we're about halfway into this first period alongside Daniel Schmidt and Jack Maurice. I'm Ryan Cartman bringing you this last series of the year for the Jayhawks against the Billikens from St. Louis. Jayhawks up 1-0 early, courtesy of a Danny Callaghan goal, assisted by Matthew Lang. Around the boards, this puck travels, putting the hit on there. That was Mantis O'Neill, and it's going to be our first penalty call to the game, an elbowing assessed.
You can't be taking that penalty right there. I mean, that was a very easy one for our referee to see. I mean, he got him right there with the elbow, no question about it.
And beg your pardon, that's actually going to be on the Billiken. That's going to be on Stutzer. Thought they were calling that one. I
thought it too, because it looked like he laid the elbow into him.
Yeah, but they're going to call that on Stutzer.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be boarding there. The way that he went in and the way that they quickly called that, could have sworn that was going to be boarding.
Well, the Jayhawks will take a power play if they can get it, trying to set it up. That was Siddons over to Feeney, but just wide of him. So it'll be Vaughn waiting patiently along the half wall. Brett Siddons up top. Back to Vaughn. Vaughn feeds it down low. Laying on the backhand. Had a wide open Callaghan in front of the net. Callaghan whiffed, vying for a second of the night. As it's Vaughn. Up to the captain, Siddons. Siddons back to Vaughn. Waits to shoot. Does. And that goes wide, deflected in front of the net of Belly. Not able to keep it in there was the Jayhawks and Brett Siddons, so St. Louis will not be able to make any changes 40 seconds into this penalty kill. Actually, they will make one. Coming onto the ice, that's Charlie West. Lang feeds it over to Feeney. Feeney waits, thought about giving it to Brett Siddons. Siddons takes it anyway. Siddons down low to Lang. Lang to Vaughn. Vaughn waits at the top of the circle. Vaughn's shot goes off a skate. I think that was off a Lang skate. As this puck sent down the length of the ice by the Billikens, ends up into the Jayhawks bench. So this face-off will come into neutral ice.
Yeah, going to neutral ice. 56 seconds left on that 2-minute minor. So Jayhawk power play, 56 seconds left. They're going to get fresh legs out their run.
It is not a Jayhawk power play anymore, Daniel. That is Danny Callaghan going to the box for 2 minutes. Called an interference on him, missed it. Must have been on the back end of the play. I totally missed that one, but not much argument there from Callaghan or the coaching staff, it looks like. So it's actually going to be a 4-on-4 with the face-off coming to the left of the net of Vetter as this clock is running right now. And they finally stop it. I would hope they put back 9:19 on the clock.
I had 9:13 on mine before they ran it, or when they stopped it a little early because I had 9:13 and had to adjust our score bug to a little bit. And now they got the penalty on the wrong side there. I think they got confused as well.
Yeah, Daniel, you were down in the PA box last Saturday, and you heard that it's not the best system that they have here. Don't dog on the people too much here at Advent Health, because we love what they do for us, but
Yeah.
it's not the best system.
No, the guys down there do their best with it, but it's a little finicky, and I know they try their hardest, so if you ever get frustrated at home, just know that they are trying down there. I got to see it firsthand on Saturday.
Vetter gets this one behind his net. It's going to be a 4-on-4 for the next 40 seconds until Stutzer comes out of the box. Then it'll be a minute 10 on the power play for the Billikens. And penalty kill's been really solid this year for St. Louis. They've had a lot of opportunities to practice their penalty kill, kind of like the Jayhawks have had, not being able to stay out of the box. But the power play for the Billikens will have been really hit or miss when we talked to head coach Liam Knob before this one. 14 seconds left to 4-on-4. Puck sent down the length of the ice, and it's going to be icing here assessed to St. Louis. 8.5 to go or so in the period.
Yeah, I mean, the Jayhawks really figuring it out here. Even on the 4-on-4, I think this is a good little run for them to see what they can do, because especially last weekend when they struggled on the penalty kill, they're going to get a good, 70 seconds or so. That's what they need.
Face-off won and carried by Charlie West. Charlie West, big guy for these Billikens. Again, 27 years old, but 6'3", 225. He's not somebody you want to mess with out on the ice. That's coming out of the box is Stutzer, so it's going to be a power play for the Billikens for the next 60 seconds. Brett Siddons skates around the high slot. Again, Jayhawks on the penalty kill, so they're just going to look to waste as much time as possible.
Siddons doing what he always does, Ryan. He's full speed on the penalty kill. He really runs this unit for the Jayhawks.
As Malcolm Johnson sends that one down the length of the ice, as Brett Siddons goes to challenge Belly. Belly almost turned it over to Siddons, but luckily Billiken was there just in time. Keep that one out of the back of the net for St. Louis. Skating up the ice, this is Charlie West. Charlie West protects the puck along the right side and along the boards. Pushed off the puck there by Johnson. Referee has to get out of the way. 24 seconds remain on the minor. Sets to Danny Callaghan for interference. Lepresti with it. 15 seconds on the power play for St. Louis. Headman attempted up to John Feeney, but intercepting that one was Stutzer. Stutzer around the left side, poked around by John Feeney. Stutzer around one. Stutzer shot. Saved by Kai Vetter. Some gloved hand larceny from the young sophomore netminder.
Yeah, I mean, that's great by Kai right there. His glove hand's one of his, strongest parts. He really can get around that net. He moves very well. He's a very agile guy, but even then he doesn't, give up on the glove hand. His glove hand's one of his best parts of his game.
So back to 5-on-5 after that shot coming out of the box is Callaghan. Just an even strength face-off to the left side of Kai Vetter with 7:10 to go in this period. 13 shots on goal for the Hawks, 8 for the Billikens. Jayhawks center, this is Callaghan, fresh out of the box. Danny Callaghan to Lang. Lang up to Schubert. Schubert across the ice to Zadakis. Zadakis down low. This is Vaughn. Vaughn trying to push it in. He can't. Puck finds its way out into the far boards. Trying to clear is Frades. He does. And chasing after this one is Zadakis. Right on his tail is Lube. Headman potentially up to Vaughn, but broken up by St. Louis.
Yeah, Ryan, Lube's shown he's a hustler. He's moving around the ice really well right now.
Puck poked up there by Vaughn. Easily got around Aiden Phillips, potentially with the help of the linesman. Vaughn battles as he kind of wraps his arms around Billiken. Lang shot, tried to find it 5-hole. Couldn't corral the rebound there. Could Belly. It's been a problem for him we've seen tonight as this is on the far end. Markowitz entering. Markowitz pushed off by Hearn. Up to Rowan Vaughn now, just stayed onside. Vaughn loses control of that puck. I think that puck was bouncing for him on his way and had trouble corralling that one. Shot there by Pesic. Saved easily by Vetter. Huber now. Huber has to go through a couple. On the backhand, tries to go crossbar high, but can't squeeze it under. Puck along to half full. Cleared out by St. Louis. Zach Roberts picks up the loose change. Huber now off the pass from Roberts. Huber yet again trying to skate through quite a few Billikens. As is Bowerly now. Bowerly high slot shot. Saved by Belly.
Yeah, Belly's seen his fair share of shots. He's seen 14 shots already here in the first 15 minutes, Ryan, and he's handling them really well. Partially because his defense, with the exception of the 2-on-1 and the breakaway, have been phenomenal. They've been there for him tonight.
And Daniel, it's kind of like what you said. Jayhawks playing down to their opponent. It's what Andy McConnell was afraid of heading into this one, and that's what it seems like right now. I think all three of us up here.
Yeah, I mean, with the momentum, and you know, they take that game last weekend against Mizzou so seriously. That one hurts for them, but they just need to find a way to move on and get them next year when you play.
5 minutes remain in the first period of play. 14 shots on goal for KU, 9 for St. Louis. Headman, this is Aiden Siddons. Siddons goes in. Siddons back in. Saved by Belly. Belly does not cover up. Instead, he'll feed it out to his defenseman. But what a save by the young freshman netminder out of St. Louis.
Yeah, Siddons not happy there. He didn't get the 5-hole closed really quickly, but
on the doorstep there, Bowerly off the feed from Blake Hearn. Hearn, the defenseman, goes down low below the net.
Back to the Siddons breakaway. Didn't get the 5-hole closed quickly, but Siddons kind of hesitated on the shot, gave him time to get it closed.
Puck in front of the crease dangerously of Belly, and he's able to cover that one up after a wild sequence there. Had a nice glove hand save a couple minutes ago, and it comes up huge on a 5-hole breakaway save off of Aiden Siddons. Siddons did not look too happy after that one didn't go in.
Yeah, I think he knows he needed to be a little bit more aggressive with it off his stick. He waited just a little too long. That's going to keep this game 1-0.
Belly this year has been the primary starter for these Billikens. 7-10-2 on the season. 3.15 goal against average.
Just a freshman, Ryan.
And 928 save percentage. And that's talking to Coach Naw before the game, saying that goaltending is a strength of his team. Again, it's just the offense, putting pucks in the back of the net that his team just can't seem to figure out most of the season.
Yeah, I mean, he's a hometown kid. He goes to SLU. He's from just over the river in Illinois, and he's playing real well this year for the Billikens.
As puck ice by St. Louis, as it'll go down. Back for a face-off to the left of Belly.
Jack, just what are your thoughts right now? 3:49 left. Jayhawks are winning the shots battle and winning the scoring battle, but still just up 1-0.
This is incredibly refreshing to see from the Jayhawks here. I feel like a lot of the games at least recently, they've been outperformed. They've been outworked. It feels nice to see a game again where the Jayhawks are really playing their game. They're playing to their strengths.
Another icing going to be called here against St. Louis's tape-to-tape passing. Not going so well for them. Something we were used to seeing from the Jayhawks a little bit, but St. Louis right now struggling with the tape-to-tape passing in the last 60 seconds of play or so.
Yeah, I mean, the second period last Saturday for KU might have been the most efficient passing period they've had this year. They were really good. They were seeing the puck well, getting on each other's sticks. Just they couldn't score and ended up costing them.
Off the draw, shot there by Brett Siddons, went wide of the net. Picking this up, this is Lube. Lube, though, can't get through a couple Jayhawks as Jayhawks get this puck down to neutral ice.
Off the jaw, Ryan, is that a Gavin McKenna reference?
Charlie West shoots this one down to ice. Icing going to be waved off here. Getting to that one first. That is Heighthouse. Malcolm Johnson around the boards. John Feeney. Feeney pushed aside by Pesic. Pesic with it on the stick. Tries to feed it across to Charlie West, but he couldn't get to it. Here come the Hawks. This is Ibis in the first line. Ibis shot goes off the stick of a Billiken defender. Goes way up into the roof, into the
He checked the ace.
vent.
Yeah, he hit
That's the highest I've ever seen a puck go here at Advent Health, all the way up to the HVAC working.
Yeah, I mean, he probably put a pretty sizable dent in it if somebody's going over to grab that puck and take it back to the center ice scorers table.
Face off to the right of the net of Belly. Belly played well tonight, stopping 14 of 15 shots that have come on his goal. And we'll do it again, folks. Another face-off coming in front of the net at Belly. Another icing by the Billikens.
Yeah, a lot of stoppages here tonight, Ryan.
Game has slowed down a little bit these last few minutes.
Game is slowed on a lot of icings, that out-of-play puck, the interference call. Really kind of, I think, letting SLU back into this one, Ryan.
You got a forward line ready to come on for SLU here, but again, can't change with the icing, so they'll have to wait to exit. Can't do it there. Jayhawks keep it in. Ibis keeps it in yet again. Brett Siddons now keeping it in. And finally in neutral ice, but the Jayhawks going right back in. Schubert up to Brett Siddons. Siddons across ice. Ibis shot. Saved by Belly. Up at the point. Zdakis shot. Saved yet again by Belly as SLU exits.
Yeah, I think Zdakis needs to get that one into one of his forwards there. That shot was screened.
Cross. This is Zdakis. A forward defenseman, one might call him. Zdakis all the way in. Zdakis tries to find John Feeney on the back doorstep. Couldn't, as SLU sends us down the length of the ice. And yet again, an icing against the Billikens. Deja vu, one might add.
Yep, we're stopped again, Ryan. 1:56 left here in the first period. Jayhawks have really taken control of this shots battle in the last couple of minutes. They're up to 17-9. I think they've shot it 8 times in the last time that SLU has attempted a shot.
To the right of the net of Belly, this one comes yet again. One off the draw by the Billikens and dumped in by Markowitz as he goes for a change. Half wall along the boards. Palter brings that puck and it's wrapped around by the Jayhawks. Getting that one first is Lepresti, but he's battling with a couple of Hawks. The Hawks claw away at that one. Retreating back in front of his net there, Stutzer. Interesting decision by him as he has to fend off Danny Callaghan. Stutzer able to get it off to West as John West along the boards tries to exit the zone. Billikens do exit. Here is Stutzer. Stutzer centers now. Here is Lepresti. Lepresti shot. He scores! Evan Lepresti found wide open in the low slot. Adds his 9th goal, 16th point of the season to tie this one up at 1 apiece.
What did we say, Ryan? They're playing down, and SLU is getting some extra time there with all the icings. Even though it came back down to their own end, I think it worked in their favor. And right there, they just beat the Jayhawks. And need more effort from Kansas there. I know head coach Andy McConnell and Chase Pruitt are not happy with that effort.
Lepresti, the freshman out of Darien, Illinois, and adds his 9th goal of the year and knots this game up at 1 apiece. All momentum right now feels like it's the Billikens' way. Huber battles for it with West. Charlie West wins that along the boards. And as long as this puck doesn't go in front of the net of Vetter, well, it does, so no icing here.
I think it got waved off early, too. They said it got tipped.
Aiden Siddons, far side. Under a minute now remaining in the first period. Billikens send this one down, and Landis gets to it. Braxton Landis cross ice to his defensive partner in Johnson. Johnson gives it to Siddons. Siddons around 2, nicely protects the puck. Gives it up to Huber now. Huber gets stick checked a little here as he'll wrap it around. 33 seconds remain on the period. He puts that one on the net, saved by Belly. Billikens get to it, and this one goes down the length of the ice. And no icing here. They're going to say that Johnson was close enough to it, and the puck didn't go far enough.
Jayhawks
Huber.
need some momentum, Ryan. They need it.
Yeah, Huber calls for the puck, but goes too far in front of his stick. Billikens around the board. Johnson picks it up in the far corner. 10 seconds remain in the period. Aiden Siddons gets us into neutral ice. One last push for the Jayhawks. They're 2-on-1. Huber waits. Huber to Bowerly. Couldn't get that one in the net as that'll wrap up our first period. A great scoring opportunity for the Hawks, but Bowerly just could not find the back of the net there. And, well, what could be summed up as a disappointing first period for KU.
Jayhawks need to come out with more energy. I mean, they look stagnant on the ice. They look tired. They shouldn't be tired. I mean, they've had practice this week, but they only practice twice a week. They really just need to come out with more energy. They look deflated out there.
Absolutely, and it really feels like that they're getting a little lazy with how they're covering those passing lanes there, and that was a big deal for the Mizzou game where the passing lanes, they just weren't there. That last goal by SLU was just an easy center slot pass, and he saw that all the way through. There's not much Kai Vetter could do on that.
Yeah,
Kansas has to be just so much better at blocking those passing lanes and trying to make something happen here.
I assume that's going to be an emphasis here at intermission. They need to bring more fire. They need to get on those passing lanes. They need to skate they need to skate the entire 60. They need to be getting up and down the ice, even up into the third period, because they need to close this season out on a high note.
Absolutely, man.
The 7th goal of the season for Danny Callaghan put the Jayhawks up in the middle of the first period, in this one 1-0. But Evan Lepresti with a late answer with only a couple minutes remaining in the period adds his 9th goal of the season. Had a goal last Saturday as well, I should add, the lone goal for the Billikens against Drury last Saturday. So he has goals 8 and 9 on the season in back-to-back weekends as we find ourselves all tied up and heading into the first intermission. So 18 shots on goal for the Jayhawks, 10 for the Billikens. Yet again, we're all tied up in intermission. We'll send this one to break. Keep it right here on the KU Hockey YouTube channel. back from the first intermission break as the Billikens and the Jayhawks tied up at 1 goal apiece heading into the second period of play. And alongside Jack Maurice and Ryan Cartman, alongside Jack Maurice and Daniel
You are
Smith.
Ryan Cartman.
I am
boy.
Ryan
We
Cartman.
are Ryan
We
Cartman.
are Ryan Cartman.
I am Ryan Cartman here at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. And gentlemen, as this puck is being dropped, my mind was on seeing Brett Siddons right there give his team a pep talk before the period started. We'll get back to that once we get our first stoppage, because I think there's a lot to talk about coming out of this intermission break. Shot there by Lube, whipped on as it comes out to the side of the net of Vetter. Poked aside by his stick as Hearn picks it up. Hearn on the backhand to Feeney. Feeney moves with his feet. Ref kind of gets sandwiched in between the two players as it's Lube with it on the stick. Lube loses it. Shot, though, comes from Carney. I think it went off a KU stick on its way to the net, so it goes wide. Shot by Lube, safe. Rebound opportunity. They score!
Sloppy.
Ryan Frady's the captain for this Billikens team. Notches his 8th goal, 16th point of the season, and now has the Billikens dancing up 1.
I mean, that was some great skating there by the Billikens. You can't blame them, but the Jayhawks need to be there, Ryan. That was a sloppy start, and it really, really is going to set the tone for this second period if they're going to play like that.
Yeah, and we were talking about tone, Daniel and Jack, and we saw Brett Siddons, the captain for the Hawks, giving his team a pep talk, a very serious-looking pep talk in front of his bench right before the period started. And now 31 seconds into this period, the Jayhawks find themselves down for the first time tonight.
They're getting outskated, Ryan, no question about it.
Skating on in there, that was Stutzer, but the Jayhawks get to it, and the Billikens now try to control and neutral ice. They will. Lube up to Carney. Carney turns it over to Landis as Jayhawks look to enter the Billikens' offensive sheet of ice. Lang cuts through 2. Shot on, goes wide of the net of Belly. And into neutral ice. Puck popped up into the air, retrieved by Lepresti. Lepresti tries to get around Landis. Lepresti still waits. Lepresti fires. Blocked in front of the net. That was Palter screening Vetter. Puck controlled by Phillips. Landis battles for it with Palter. Coming away with it is the Jayhawks. Callaghan, the lone goal scorer for the Jayhawks tonight, pushes this up to Vaughn. Jayhawks trying to push the envelope here. Vaughn gets around Charlie West. West, though, will try to corral at the feet as losing an edge there is a Billiken. Shot there by Zdakis, and on the rebound, the Jayhawks score. Aiden Siddons ties this one up for the Hawks as we have 2 goals scored in just over 2 minutes to play in the second period.
Yeah, we got a little inflatable ball on the ice at the same time, but that's good to see for the Jayhawks. It was a little bit of a lucky one, but even then, sometimes all you need is the luck, Ryan, and the luck really helped them out there as they even this one back up here early.
That was a shot on by Zdakis, and I lost it, but Aiden Siddons certainly did not. As he notches a goal, the sophomore out of Waconia, Minnesota, as we're back to a tied hockey game in this one. Vetter behind the net. Loses it. Zdakis, who got that assist on that one, who I think will be credited with an assist, wraps that around. Shot there by Phillips, goes off a stick and into the netting, and we'll have a stoppage.
Oh my gosh, guys, this is a little tough to commentate, you know. It's really hard to watch this team sometimes. I can't lie. It seems like they're just very off and very on at the same time, but I really got to hope that what Brett said to start the period resonates with the team.
Down on the back doorstep, there was Huber, a little tic-tac-toe from the Hawks. Huber, though, couldn't put it in the back of the net. Worried you'd steal my goal call there, Jack, but for the Jayhawks, nothing happening there, so no goal call to be stolen. Zdakis cross ice off the boards. Bowerly feeds it up to Huber. Huber gets around one. Huber drags. Huber loses the puck as it goes behind the net of Belly. Huber pressures Stutzer. I want to say Tim Stutzla, playing for Team Germany.
Ottawa
this Olympics,
Senators legend Tim Stutzla right there. That's my guy.
Near corner. One by Hearn. Hearn backhands it up into the netting, out of play. As this faceoff will come into neutral ice, it looks like.
Sounds like you're about to trip on your words while you were talking about Tim Stutzla there, aren't you?
What do you mean?
You embellishing a little bit there?
Okay. He does not embellish, and he's never embellished against the Blues. I don't want to hear it from a Blues fan or a Ducks fan.
All right, buddy. Let's talk about who's got the most tripping embellishments in the league.
So assist on that goal, coming, yes, courtesy of Zach Sudeikis, is off the draw. That is Osberg. Fourth line out for KU. Osberg, the freshman out of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Jack, that's a Mickey Mouse stat. I just want to say that.
With the puck on the stick, that's John Carney. Carney, though, loses it quickly to Hearn. Carney tries to get it back on the doorstep now. Shot there by Lube and swallowed up by Vetter.
Yeah, Lube really, didn't get much on that. He just kind of whiffed at it, so probably going to look to get a little bit more flush, Lube is, on his next shot.
Face off to the right of the net of Vetter. One off the draw by the Billikens. Shot off the draw by West. Goes wide. Hit a Jayhawk leg, I think, on the way in. Trying to race down to ice to grab that one is Mantis O'Neill. O'Neill almost ran into Belly. That could have been an interesting situation to pop up. Dragging around one there is Carney. Trying to feed it into Carney on the doorstep. That was Frady's. Frady's the second goal scorer. Beg your pardon, second goal scorer of the night. The captain for the Billikens. Far boards, Hearn, it goes off his stick, so he has to retreat all the way back behind the net of his netminder, Vetter, to get this offense restarted. A weak pass by Hearn opens the door for the Billikens. Here's Holtz. Holtz waits, loses for a second as he battles for it in the near corner. Up top, Stutzer from the point. Stutzer's shot goes wide and above the net of Vetter. That was a wicked wrister there by Stutzer. Shot there, goes wide of the net. That was coming off the stick of Holtz. Vetter tried to grab at that one, but it's loose, and it's the Billikens with it again. Shot yet again by John West as it goes off the leg of Zach Roberts. Jayhawks look to enter. Fourth line has been out for quite a few minutes for these Jayhawks as they will go to the bench, and looks to be still the fourth line out for the Jayhawks. Actually a mix of the fourth and the first. Shot on there by Johnson. Glove save by Belly as well as stoppage.
Yeah, all twos here, Ryan. Just under 15 minutes to go here in the second. Both teams with one goal here early, and these goaltenders have looked good. 21 shots on goal through the first 25 minutes for the Jayhawks, 14 for SLU.
Absolutely, and it doesn't really feel like the Jayhawks are staggering on offense here. They're getting shots off. They're just not good ones. It just seems like they're throwing it on net here.
It seems like exiting the zone has been a problem for the Jayhawks for most of this game, and these last few minutes, most definitely. Billikens control. Headman up to Heithaus. Heithaus loses it, and it's Ibis with it now. Ibis along the left wing side. Ibis shot goes wide of the net. At the blue line is Johnson to keep it in. Johnson sends it back to Ibis. Ibis backhands it. In front of the net was Feeney, but he couldn't get a stick on it. Brett Siddons with it. Siddons waits at the half wall, turns around and turns it over easily to a Billiken. And the Billikens turn right back over to the Jayhawks. Ibis enters in cleanly with Siddons. Ibis drops it for Siddons. Siddons shot fires. Goes above the net of Belly. Feeney tries to redirect it to Siddons, can't, so he'll take it to neutral ice as the Jayhawks look to reset on offense, and they'll not go for a line change. First line opting to stay on. Off the skate there of Johnson. Looks like a World Cup player there as it gets kicked ahead to Feeney. Pass broken up there from Feeney to Siddons by Markowitz. Nice job by the freshman defenseman.
World Cup is going to Missouri, Ryan. Maybe they're just getting in the spirit.
Near boards. Battled for Kuhn, loses it as it's shot up by KU off a KU stick in front of the red line. So icing waved off here. Going in deep to battle for it is Lang. Lang has Vaughn with him, and this is Vaughn with it on the stick. Vaughn tries to wrap around, can't. Shot in front of the net there by Callaghan in the low slot. Couldn't get it to go through.
Yeah, Callaghan set that up pretty well, just couldn't get it converted.
Sudeikis loses it on his stick, but luckily there for the Jayhawks was Schubert, but he loses an edge, and somehow the Jayhawks enter the zone.
There's a wire on the ice, it looks, Ryan.
Vaughn drops it to Callaghan. Callaghan's shot got blocked in front of the net by a couple Billikens defensemen. So Jayhawks going to have to look for another opportunity. Max Belly calling out the defense for the Billikens. Zdekis' shot goes off his Billikens skate. Billikens cleared the zone momentarily, but Zdekis gets in, fires it right back in with just over 12 and a half to go in the second period. Zdekis' shot off there goes well wide of the net, and it's picked up by the Jayhawks. Shot there by Callaghan, gets scooped up by the glove of Belly, as well as a stoppage with just under 12 and a half remaining in the second period.
Just got to shout out Zach Zdekis here, man. You know, it hasn't really felt like that he's got much playing time this year, but, man, he plays with so much heart. I got to give a shout out there. That last sequence there, man, he really was doing all he could to keep that puck in the zone.
Yeah, the junior from Joliet, Illinois. I mean, he plays for his teammates. He's a great teammate from everything I've heard, and I know the guys love him.
Up the draw, one by Huber, but it's the Billikens who poked away at it, and now they're coming away. Aiden Siddons down to Zach Roberts. Zach Roberts headman to Bowerly. Bowerly, though, a target on his back there, courtesy of Charlie West, as here comes West now. West, kick saved by Vetter off his shot. Near half wall, Zach Roberts, or Robo, as his teammates call him. Hearn. Up to Aiden Siddons. Siddons on a breakaway here. Aiden Siddons, forehand, backhand, forehand. Saved by Belly, the second time that Belly has denied Aiden Siddons on a breakaway, as Siddons shakes his head, wondering what the code is to crack the net of Max Belly.
Yeah, I think Aiden Siddons is going to have a tough time sleeping tonight. He's had two good opportunities on Belly, but Belly has just read him perfectly. He needs to change something up if he gets that third and really rare opportunity.
Yeah, the code. Aiden Siddons looking for that one, as here come the Billikens on a breakaway. Holtz with it. Holtz shot, saved by Vetter. Rebound opportunity lurking in front of the net for Poulter, but the Jayhawks defenseman got there in time to break that opportunity up.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscommunication between Roberts and Vetter there. Roberts thought Vetter was going to cover it up, but Vetter wanted to play it to Roberts. Almost ended up costing Kansas.
Jayhawks shoot this down the length of the ice. It'll be an icing against KU, and I think they'll be okay with that one, just to give themselves a little bit of a break. That's the second time we saw this game as well, that an opportunity on a breakaway came for the Jayhawks, and the Billikens got one in the next sequence.
Like we're gonna die. Little Kesha.
Face off. Face off to the left of the net of Vetter, won by the Billikens, but here come the Jayhawks. Right to a Billiken stick as St. Louis looks to go the other way. Heithaus with it. Goes wide of the net. Puck played by both teams, trying to vie for possession. The Jayhawks come away with it. They're 2-on-1 if they hurry. Aiden Siddons. Siddons tries to toe drag around Noah Stutzer, and Stutzer having himself quite a game so far tonight. Entering now. Shot there by Stutzer. Goes up above the crossbar. Stutzer playing both sides of the ice very well. The defenseman for these Billikens. This puck is up and into the bench area of St. Louis. So we'll have a face-off in front of the net of Kai Vetter.
Yeah, face-off coming back to Vetter's end. Let's see how he handles this one. He's done really good all night at handling the face-offs on his own end. But SLU's got a little bit more energy right now, Ryan. It'll be a tough task to handle here if they can win the face-off.
SLU does win it and tries to go 5-hole on Vetter. Vetter had that left pad up there, but not able to get through. He put his stick down just in time. Malcolm Johnson tried to go up to Osberg. Osberg couldn't get a stick on it as it's SLU now behind the net of Vetter. Battling for that. That's Charlie West with Malcolm Johnson. West, again, 27-year-old law student, just a big guy, 6'3", 225. This is Van Rossum behind the net.
Yeah, I think he was hoping for a little bit more favorable of a bounce there. Didn't get it.
Osberg battles for it up top. That's Landis with the shot, but it goes wide. Rebound opportunity for Van Rossum. Couldn't get it through the net of Belly. Shot by Johnson, deflected in front by Kyle Van Rossum. Nice deflection job by him. Just couldn't get it in the back.
Thought for a second that got over the right shoulder of our goaltender.
Into half wall, it's Osberg. Around this goes, and it's Charlie West to pick it up. Been calling Charlie West's name a lot tonight. Shot by Johnson goes wide off the deflection. This is Van Rossum deflected in front by Mantis O'Neill. Boy, the fourth line for the Jayhawks really putting on a clinic right now. They've been into Billikens' offensive zone this whole shift.
This is what the coaching staff was hoping out of this fourth line. None of them really get a lot of playing time here, but this is a good opportunity for them to show what they can bring to this team for next year.
Puck down the length of the ice, iced by the Billikens, and you see Brett Siddons giving some stick taps for his fourth line, trying to prove a chance for next year and show just what they can showcase.
I just love looking at you, Ryan, and seeing Dan dancing to the music out here. It's
2, 3, 4,
oh yeah,
5.
man, nothing like adding some karaoke onto the live stream here.
Ibis behind the net now. This puck, because we're just over 9 minutes remaining in the second period, over halfway through this hockey game. Schubert with it, tries to pass it off to Zadakis, just skates right in front of the net of Vetter. Interesting decision there by Zach Schubert. Did have a Billiken on him, though. Zach Zadakis, he'll say, I'll take this myself, and he'll shoot. Goes wide of the net. Schubert up at the point now. Couldn't control it, and it's battled for as Slew comes away with it. They're 2-on-1 if they hurry, but they will not be 2-on-1. They go for a line change. Shot by Palter goes off the stick of, I want to say that was Feeney up into the netting. So it'll be another offensive zone faceoff for the Billikens.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan, we'll touch on it a little later. This is last broadcast with Jack and I working it with you, so this is a special one, of course. Having some fun with it.
Gotta have a little fun, right, when you're doing the last.
We'll get you like a Milky Way or something.
There you go.
Old time's sake.
Good luck, Milky Way. Brett Siddons goes through 2. And behind the red line, delayed penalty against the Billikens. Kai Vetter doesn't realize, finally does, as the team calls him to bench. Jayhawks will get an extra skater here. Brett Siddons up at the point. That extra skater is Vaughn as he comes on the ice. Centering pass there by the Jayhawks. Doesn't go through. Jayhawks going to try to retreat and hold on to possession as long as possible. Try not to let the Billikens touch. Siddons tries to skate through 2 as there's a whistle as the Billikens touch up, you could argue, but the Jayhawks will take a power play either way, and it'll be a hooking assessed to St. Louis.
Jayhawks going back on the power play. It's just been a little tough in the last couple of games. The Jayhawks power play has been extremely stagnant. Jayhawks need to at least try something. It was a smart move by them to at least get Vaughn out there and try to get some more offensive action, extend the time a little bit, but doesn't seem like that really amounted to anything but some confusion and frustration.
Yeah, Jack, to your point, both these power plays have been stagnant in their last few games. Last weekend against Drury, it was the Billikens, 0 for 2 on Friday on their power play opportunities, 0 for 1 on Saturday. Jayhawks, of course, did not convert at all against the Tigers, though they did give up a couple power play goals.
Some sloppy passing again right there, Ryan, for the Jayhawks. Somehow they keep it in, though. That's luck.
Brett Siddons picks it up, and
that's my fault.
Down the length of the ice goes that one. A good old announcer's jinx there, brought to you by Daniel Schmidt. Brett Siddons crosses the red line and enters the zone with Callaghan behind him. The trailer's Callaghan. There's Callaghan right now. Callaghan tries to squeeze it through the 5-hole. He cannot. Callaghan took an extra peek at that one. I did too, but it did not find its way through the legs of Max Belly, keeping this a tied hockey game.
Yeah, Belly's been really good at getting those gaps closed. I mean, he's given up 2 goals, but still, I mean, he's faced 26 shots. He saved 24 of them. That's pretty impressive right there, Ryan.
Face off to the left of the net of Belly. One by Slew, and off the leg there of Lang, keeping that in. Looked like that shook him up a little bit, but he's all right. Feeney, cross-ice, Callaghan tries to get his second of the game, couldn't. Nice save by Belly on the shorthanded. Siddons tries to center, can't, as he keeps it in at the blue line. Siddons over to Lang, he dances to Feeney. Feeney down low, he'll give it around to Vaughn. Jayhawks have some passing lane, just got to connect. Lang now shimmies over to Vaughn. Vaughn shot, saved by Belly. 39 seconds remain on this Jayhawk power play. The minor assessed to John West for a hook. They have 16 up on the board or they have 18 up on the board, beg your pardon, but it is 16 John West. No 18 this week for the Billikens. Off the draw, Billikens cleared that one down. Kai Vetter out of his net to play that, and he'll saucer it up to Huber. Didn't do much work there as Huber has to go back in front of the net as he tries to work around Frady's. Near ball trying to backhand that out. It's Phillips as that's sent down to length. 15 seconds remain on the Jayhawk power play. Just a pretty stagnant power play these last 90 seconds.
Yeah, really haven't been able to do a whole lot, but let's see if they can spark it right in the last 5 seconds.
Aiden Siddons, near corner, tries to work around a ref, gets pushed down, and they're going to call a cross-check here against Noah Stutzer. Stutzer didn't like the call, but they're going to give it to the Jayhawks. So coming out of the box, it was West, but going right back into the box is the Billikens and Noah Stutzer, his second minor of the night.
Yeah, I couldn't see the official's arm, so I had to lean forward before I could see him holding it, because Jack's over here being our wonderful cameraman. But Jack, what do you think about that call?
I didn't really see it, I'm not going to lie. I just saw him go down. I couldn't tell if it was more of a tripping or a cross-checking or something, but either way, something was going to come out of that one.
They got a benefit there because they were still on, just at the end of the power play. So
Jayhawks
always a little bit more.
If Jayhawks over 2 on the power play tonight, they're going to try to convert on their third one as the Billikens take it in shorthanded. But here come the Jayhawks and defenseman Blake Kern. 2 defensemen on the ice for this power play for Andy McConnell. You don't really see this for him. He usually opts for 4 forwards in the defenseman. You can even see 5 forwards and no defenseman out of him. But it's the rare 2 defensemen for McConnell. Hearn shot from up top. He scores! What a wicked wrister by Blake Hearn. Cashes in on the power play for the Jayhawks as they take a 1-goal lead.
Yeah, great shot right there. Stutzer, you could hear, I don't know if you heard it on the broadcast, he slammed his stick against the boards in frustration after that goal went in. Great shot by the Jayhawks.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, dude. I don't know if you saw that on the camera, man. I mean, you just
right
saw that.
over it.
It was all the way through. You saw the top right corner just completely open. Hear the shot, boom, it's in the back of the net. That was as perfect as a shot it could be.
Hey, what a better time to find your first goal of the season if you're Blake Hearn than right then. Shot there by West, goes off the left leg pad of Vetter. Big rebound opportunity potentially for the Billikens, but they couldn't catch it in.
Ibis lost the stick there. He just kind of looked around like, where'd my stick go?
Landed shot saved by Belly.
Yeah, I think he looked at the, I don't know if he looked around for confusion or wanted a call there, but
couldn't quite tell what was happening. It looked like he kind of got it flung out there, but.
So the Jayhawks, for the first time in a long time, have a power play goal as they're rolling here in Overland Park, Kansas. Malcolm Johnson shot from the blue line. Trying to deflect it in front was Brett Siddons, but he couldn't get a stick on it. And it goes wide.
I want to bring up how Malcolm is really, making some smart shots recently. I saw it last week, and even when, things didn't really work out, he's taking smart shots. He's being a team player. I know that this means a lot for him his last couple of games. I'd love to see him get another goal because, he plays his heart out. He draws a lot of penalties, and he's a man of the people.
Oh, absolutely. And that dude has a absolute rocket for a shot.
Love to see him get a clapper goal. That'd be great.
So that power play goal for Hearn, assisted by Aiden Siddons and Blake Bowerly, as the Jayhawks find themselves up 1 with 4:45 remaining in this middle act of play. Feeney at the low half wall. His dot tries to get it out. He does. It's Ibis. Ibis enters cleanly with Siddons behind him. Ibis shot easily saved there by Belly. Probably one of the easier saves that he's had tonight.
Yeah, nice shot there by Ibis. He just didn't really get it placed well, didn't get enough emphasis on it, but Belly just easy glove save.
The face-off will come to the right of the net of Belly. 32 shots on goal for the Hawks, 17 for the Billikens. Shots on goal differentials really spread out the second period. Puck to the right post of Belly. Jayhawks so couldn't get it under that leg pad. So the Billikens will try to take advantage of it and enter the Jayhawks offensive zone, but this puck is kind of tossed around and the Jayhawks pick it up. It's Vaughn.
Yeah, great defensive breakup there by Johnson.
Vaughn goes around the net. Vaughn on the backhand goes wide of the net with that little shot. Lang, spinoramas to Callaghan. Callaghan's shot saved by Belly. Rebound opportunity for the Jayhawks. Couldn't cash it in as here comes St. Louis entering the zone. Shot there, saved by the blocker. Might have been above his blocker by Vetter. And there's a kick pass by Billiken. I haven't seen a kick pass go that far in a while. But the Jayhawks get to it. It's Rowan Vaughn along the right side again. Vaughn, the left-handed shot. And he scores! Rowan Vaughn goes 5-hole on Max Belly as Jayhawks are doubling up the Billikens here at Advent Health.
Yeah, Rowan Vaughn, man, what a stellar freshman. He's really come into his own this year. He started out really hot as, he tapered off and faded just a little bit near the end of the season, but I think it's so grueling that, new guys, they do that. But I mean, he's done so good this year. That's another example right there. I think he's really helped fill that void that Tyler Nelson left last year, Ryan.
Yeah, Rowan Vaughn, his 26th goal of the season, 40th point of the season for the Jayhawks. As the Jayhawks cruising, doubling up the Billikens. But again, you don't want to put that on cruise control too much, Daniel, because we've seen this Jayhawks team enter cruise control at points, and they've found themselves in risky situations.
We've seen them give up 2 goal leads in a minute, so.
Schubert with just over 3 minutes remaining in this second period.
2-on-2.
Aiden Siddons trying to find Huber in the low slot. Huber got a stick on it, but was poked aside by the netminder Belly. Behind the net, trying to center it is Huber. He had Aiden Siddons there. Bowerly from the dot. Bowerly tried to shoot it, but couldn't get his stick fully through it. Hit the skate. Will look to be Aiden Phillips, yes. Siddons tries to dance for round one, can't. So Blake Bowerly will send it in deep as Jayhawks D goes for a quick line change. It's Hernan Roberts on. Centering that puck was Bowerly trying to find Huber, but he couldn't. Now gloved down by Zach Roberts. Taking this one, it's Lepresti. Lepresti's shot goes wide of the net.
Good shot right there, Ryan. Just a little high.
In neutral ice. In front of the scores box, this is Bowerly working around one. That was actually his own teammate he worked around, but the Billikens picked that one up really quickly. Roberts up to Hearn, just over 2 minutes remain in the second period. Picking this one up behind his net is Belly. Belly will try to go around the glass, hit the net. Late whistle there by a referee. As we'll have to get yet another new puck in this hockey game. Feels like we've had to switch out pucks quite a few amount of times.
Just a very drastic morale change from earlier in the game, being tied 2-2, and now all of a sudden it's a 2-score lead for the Jayhawks, and this team looks completely revitalized.
Yeah, it's 3 unanswered for KU, with 35 shots on goal for KU, 18 for St. Louis. Centering pass there for Frades, and his shot goes wide of the net. Another opportunity there, that one for Lube, and it couldn't get through to Jayhawks defense.
Lube really, really a big part of Knob's team here.
Near corner, O'Neal. That puck sticked aside behind his net by Belly. Saucer pass off the boards there. That was coming from Carney, but he goes right to the Jayhawks. Hearn trying to go up to Osberg. Osberg couldn't play it at his feet as St. Louis has control of it now. 71 seconds remain in this first period. Stutzel works around one, tries to tuck it in. It looked like below the blocker of Vetter, but Vetter able to knock that one out of there. Here is Kyle Mead with it. Mead coming out of his net to play that one was Belly straight to his defenseman. In neutral ice at the center line, that's Landis. 45 seconds remain in the second period now. Jayhawks with 3 unanswered currently against the Billikens. Billikens wait to start their offense. They do. Pesic loses it momentarily. Landis and Pesic battle for it along the far corner. Puck dangerously in front of the net of Vetter, and this is Stutzer with it now.
Jayhawks need to get out. Just over 20 seconds left in the period.
John Feeney, right wing side, works around Pesic for one. Works around another. Feeney shot. Didn't get enough mustard on that shot. So it goes to the far corner. 10 seconds remain. Ibis up high. Ibis shot gets blocked, and low slot for Ibis. What a glove save by Max Belly through some traffic. I thought Harry Ibis had a sure goal on that one, but somehow putting his glove in the middle of that shot. That was Max Belly saying, hey, Mom, look what I found, with 4.2 seconds remaining in the second period.
Yeah, Jayhawks need to get a shot off the draw here. They're out shooting Sleuth 37-18. That's a big reason the Jayhawks are up 4-2. They're getting the shots on net.
Feeney, you can see there, trying to shoot it off the face-off. Nice job, though, by his counterpart, Lepresti, blocking that one. As Jayhawks head into the second intermission with a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, I mean, good things happen when you get, pucks deep, pucks in on net, and good things happen, and that's exactly what happened for the Jayhawks here. They got the pucks in deep. Aiden Sidden's talking to the SLU goalie right now. He had 2 breakaways against him. They didn't score either of them. I think they're just talking. They looked very friendly, so I'm sure he's frustrated with that, but has some respect for that goalie because those were 2 beautiful saves.
Absolutely, man. I mean, the Jayhawks offense has really come into their own recently. Rowan Vaughn just really taking over there near the end. It's really seemed like it's been all Jayhawks domination, which is exactly what this team needs after a rough period of games here.
So with that, the Jayhawks with 37 shots on goal in the period. The Billikens, 18 shots on goal. 37 shots on goal in total for the Jayhawks this game. 18 shots on goal for St. Louis. Jayhawks beating St. Louis right now 4-2. Lone goal in the second period for St. Louis coming courtesy of Ryan Frades, his 8th of the season. And for the Jayhawks, it was a goal from Aiden Siddons, a goal from Rowan Vaughn, giving him 40 points on the year, and Blake Kern's first goal of the year, a power play goal for the senior, his second to last game of his Jayhawks career, doubles the Jayhawks lead in this second period as we head into the second intermission. Jayhawks up 4-2. Keep it right here on the KU Hockey YouTube channel. Back inside Advent Health Sports Park for the start of the third period between the Billikens and the Jayhawks. Billikens take the opening draw of the final period of play. Apologies for that late minute start of the third period, folks. Just had some difficulties up here, but we're back at it. As shot there by St. Louis is easily saved by Kai Vetter. And Jack, Daniel, what are we looking for as we get into the third period of play for the Jayhawks?
Just, we can't play too passive, because I think that's been the issue in previous games, is that they've started to play a bit too passive and they just ended up choking away this lead. But, the Jayhawks really have to keep stepping on the gas. Don't play any differently that they've been playing before. Just, again, pucks on deep, you know the drill.
Yeah, shot off the draw there. That was Matthew Markowitz. Nice glove save by Kai Vetter. Daniel, what are you looking for out of the Billikens to get back in this game and potentially steal one on road ice?
They just need a solid 20 minutes. You can't force things. They've been trying to force things, and it's really getting in their way. They need to, get aggressive, of course, but you also have to have a measure of, calmness to it.
Shot there in the high slot by Carney. Gets deflected before it could reach Vetter as this puck lays loose in neutral ice. Picked up now by Hearn. Hearn will wrap it around the boards. And it's Belly, the goaltender, who dumps it to Stutzer. Stutzer races up ice. Tries to go to two Jayhawks defenders. Can't, as majority rules there. Brett Siddons tries to find Feeney floating down the left side of the ice. He does. Puck kind of goes back a little bit, though, and Stutzer's able to pick that up. Stutzer off the glass and, tangled up in the middle of the ice. That was Palter and Johnson, so the Jayhawks able to get to that one easily. Shot from neutral ice, saved by Belly, and he was going to try to give it off to defenseman there, but Jayhawk came streaking in, and he hesitated just a little bit too long, so probably opted for better to cover that one up.
Yeah, he held it just a little too long there. He needed to dump it off immediately if he wanted a chance at that, but just a little hesitation there. It's going to end up with a face-off with Jayhawks having 38 shots, including not one yet in the third here through the first 90 seconds or so.
38 shots on goal for the Hawks, 20 for the Billikens, respectively. Johnson from outside the circle goes up the skate of a Billiken and all the way back. Braxton Landis has to go.
Come on, baby. Give me the Malcolm Johnson goal. I thought that was it. That was a good look from him. He just hit a defender.
Landis skates around and opts to give it to Vaughn. Vaughn tries to chip it up to Lang, and he does. Here comes Matthew Lang racing in. Lang tries to go cross ice to Callaghan, and nice save there by Belly. But boy, what a job there by the sprawling out Billiken defender to break up that pass between Callaghan and Lang.
Yeah, I mean, good start to the period for the Jayhawks. I mean, they've done really well with that.
To the left of the net of Belly, this puck comes for a face-off. Jayhawks win it. Callaghan tries to go around the boards. Instead, it's gloved down by Billiken. Icing waved off on this one. So going all the way down to retreat it is the Jayhawks. Vaughn tries to find Lang, who stops on the dime momentarily, and Vaughn picks this up. Rowan Vaughn getting 40 points this season. Tries to go Michigan. Does he tuck it in? He does not. Nice job there by Belly, keeping that top right corner of his net in check. Not giving up a Michigan to Rowan Vaughn. He was trying to set that one up.
Thought that could have been a cross check right there, Ryan, but I think he kept it within the legal boundaries. Good hit there by Sloop.
Shot by Zadakis goes wide. Shot now by Schubert also goes wide. Both defensemen missing well the net. Here is Vaughn behind the net. Is he going to try it again? He will not. Instead, he'll pass it. Centered now for Callaghan. Out to Zadakis. He works his way down to the half wall. Zadakis shot off the glove and blocker. Both, it looks like, Belly.
Hawks are piling on. Let's see if they can get it back. There you go, Ryan.
Schubert. Vaughn on the backhand. Vaughn's shot goes wide. And eventually covered up by Belly as Callaghan pushes a Billiken defender. That looks to be John West onto the top side of Max Belly as he comes up a little gingerly, adjusts the back of his face mask, but he looks to be all right.
That was exactly the Jayhawk swagger that I'm used to. Just the almost Michigan, just nailing him with shots. It's just this is exactly the team that I know and love. And that was just, oh, man, it just seeing sequences like that, just I love it, man. I would love to see Rowan just be able to hit that Michigan in front of all of us.
That Michi would have ended up on probably every sports page on Instagram. That was a beautiful shot, just well defended by Slew.
Zdakis from the point. Works along the boards, really battling there with John Carney. Bowerly.
I mean, Slew is aggressive, and they're doing it legally. That's an impressive one, because usually you can see a guy get called for a hooking there, but he kept that stick in a smart spot, ends up keeping them out of the box.
Huber dances around one, though can't dance around Stutzer, as the Billikens just looking to exit the zone and maybe enter. They tried there. Headman attempted to Frady's, beg your pardon, as it's no icing there. Puck deflects awkwardly in front of the net of Vetter. Hand pass is going to be called here by our referee. A break for the Jayhawks, but it went off as a Dakis, went off Schubert, and luckily it found its way to the feet of Vetter and not behind his net.
Man, this is a good playlist today, guys. Home again. Yeah, but I mean, Kansas doing really good out there. They've piled 40 shots, and they've only had 20 shots against. I think that's a mixture of Slew just not getting going on the 20 shots against, and also KU's defense has really stepped up. I think they learned a lot from last weekend, especially that third period on Saturday.
This is up high. What a save by Kai Vetter. Oh, my goodness. Glove hand larceny from the sophomore netminder for the Jayhawks. What a wrist shot by Lepresti, vying for a second of the game. And Kai Vetter said, oh, no, I'll get that one myself.
I thought I was going to make the Sports Center sound, but then I remembered he did that against Mizzou on Saturday, so I don't know if that's a rare thing with him. He's just a really good goalie.
As there's a very much tamed down version of a glove save for Kai Vetter, but holy guacamole.
You hungry, Ryan?
I don't know. It's just the first thing that came to mind, Dan. A lot of adjectives can be used to describe that glove save right there. If we're talking about top 10, put that one in your Sports Center top 10. Feeney skates through two. John Feeney's shot goes off the skates of John West. A couple Johns working at it with each other. Logan Holtz trying to work his way around Roberts. Roberts pokes it away. Actually, might have been a dump from Holtz to Palter. Back to Holtz now below the net, battling with Roberts. It finds its way to Blake Hearn. Blake Hearn tries to go across ice, can't. Billikens had it for a second. Looked like they could have had it. They could have had Thomas Palter in the high slot, but just couldn't get it on his stick. Brett Siddons skates in with some speed. Tries to go around John West. Couldn't. John West playing some solid defense these last couple sequences. Brett Siddons now neutral ice. He looks to enter the zone. He does. Siddons waits. This is Ibis. Ibis shot! He scores! Harry Ibis gives the Jayhawks a 3-goal lead. And boy, Jayhawks feeling it on both sides of the ice tonight.
Yeah, that's a miss right there defensively. That was beautiful right there. Ibis is a true sniper. Just buries it right over the shoulder and into the back of the net. Beautiful shot by Harry Ibis. Fantastic.
7th goal of the season for Ibis. I don't know if they counted stats from the Mizzou series, so it might just be 6. He had one against Mizzou last Saturday.
Yeah, it's 6 or 7, I think.
Yeah, however, there, yep. Walked right into that one, Dan, but however you want to draw it up, Ibis scores and gives the Jayhawks some insurance.
What are you talking about, Ryan? I don't know what you're talking about.
Far wall. In neutral ice, here is St. Louis. John Carney. Ty Vetter plays it to Malcolm Johnson. Malcolm Johnson up high to the point to Frady's. Or actually, it should be a turnover, beg your pardon, from Johnson to Frady's. Shot there, trying to tuck it up, was RJ Lube. But getting his shoulder up in the nick of time was Kai Vetter. Lube yet again. Lube, center shot.
Oh.
Saved by Vetter. Nice look for Ryan Frady's. I keep pronouncing that name wrong. But Ryan Frady's, the captain for the Billikens, had a nice look.
You know they practiced that right, and they executed that to a T. The only problem is Kai Vetter's in net. He got right to it.
Yeah, Billikens getting a couple scoring chances here, Daniel, in these last few minutes. but Jayhawks is cashing in on theirs. Mantis O'Neal, the freshman out of Missoula, Montana. Not too many Montanans you see in the Sunflower State.
Yeah, I mean, Montana churns out some really good hockey players.
Shot in the high slot, puck now in the crease of Belly, and he's able to save that one there. Awkward sequence for both the teams.
I'm really impressed with Belly. I know if you're looking at our score bug in the top left, you're kind of like, Dan, why are you impressed with a guy that's given up 5 goals through the first, 47 minutes? Well, he's faced 42 shots, ladies and gentlemen. He's getting peppered out there, and he's only let 5 in. He's had some fantastic saves. Great night for the freshman.
What a battle off the draw here. Both teams vying for it. Jayhawks get to it. Schubert below the net of Belly. Vaughn ends up on his backside battling for it. Still being battled for us. One of our great puck battles we've had tonight. Shot in, deflected in front. Couldn't get through the traffic, though. Sudeikis up top. He'll go around the boards. Momentarily trying to glove it down was Lang, but he thought better. Loose puck in front of the net. Lang, though, will take it back out.
Great play by Lane Ryan.
Sudeikis shot, deflected in front of the net. Popped up. Vaughn gloves that down. We're going to have a delayed penalty coming up against the Billikens. Schubert. Callaghan. Vetter finally makes his way to the bench. Sixth skater comes on. It's Brett Siddons. Zach Sudeikis shot from the top of the circle. Saved. Callaghan with it. Big hit from, that looked to be Charlie West, put on Callaghan as Callaghan's on his backside. And the penalty is coming to Charlie West. We'll look for the call momentarily.
Great positioning by Kansas there. They were able to extend how long they had that man advantage on the delayed penalty, and it's going to help them out here as they got, about 25 extra seconds there by just staying on the puck and getting places that they needed to be.
Absolutely, and nothing makes me happier than to see some Shub and Sudeikis action, man. Those two guys play their hearts out every time, and it's always a treat to watch them play. Sudeikis plays his heart out, so does Schubert, and having those guys both on the blue line is something that gives that extra oomph to this team.
So the minor is assessed to Charlie West. It's going to be a minor interference call. So Jayhawks power play, after most recently scoring on their last attempt, gets a chance to go to work again. But the Billikens, nice job off the draw, making the Jayhawks reset as they run the weave. Callaghan, big hit put on him by Ben Heithaus. Callaghan been fielding a couple big hits just in these last 20 seconds of game clock.
He's going to feel that one this week.
Callaghan with it on his stick, looking to not get hit again, but he is a big kid. Ibis waits, gives it to Feeney. Feeney over to Vaughn. Vaughn up to Lang, back down to Vaughn. Vaughn, though, couldn't get it on his stick, so Callaghan's trying to get it behind the net. Callaghan on the backhand, tries to feed it to Brett Siddons. Brett finally gets it. Brett from the high slot, down to the dot to Vaughn. Vaughn tries to center. Opportunity in front there for Siddons, but couldn't tuck it into 5-hole. Jayhawks will reset from the top. This is Lang. Lang down to Brett Siddons. Centering pass on the doorstep for Callaghan. He was vying for a second, but he shot that one above the net. As it's going to be a penalty coming to Jayhawks' way. This one an interference, and seems like our revs have been tight for both teams, respectively, on these interference calls tonight. This is our 4th of the night, I think, and it really feels like they're not giving much leeway when these pucks leave the players.
Yeah, they're not giving much leeway, but I think if you go back and look at all 4 calls, they are interference calls. It's just kind of a call you don't see, officials make that often. But I'm fine with it. I mean, this late in the season, I think they're just trying to get the guys, into the summer break without being injured. Nobody wants to be injured over summer and over finals for the spring semester heading into next year.
So Callaghan is going to go sit in the box for a minor interference call. Now we're 4-on-4 for the next 45 seconds. Billikens will come out of this with a 1:09 on the power play. They have yet to convert their past few games. Turned over, Huber. Below the boards, played to Roberts. Roberts back over to Huber as the freshman from Plymouth, Minnesota looks to get things started. Roberts dumps it in. Belly couldn't play that one as he rattles the glass.
It's a little too much on it, too much mustard on it. Belly couldn't play it.
Coming up the ice, there is St. Louis. Worked off the puck there. High slot shot off the glove of Vetter. Kai Vetter checks his glove, says, is there a hole in this thing? There's not. Kai just couldn't get his glove fully on that one. Aiden Siddons tries to center for Huber. Can't, as battling for right now into high slot are the Jayhawks and the Billikens. And Aiden Siddons will opt to go all the way out. Interesting decision by the young man. And we're going to have a penalty here. It's going to be a high stick assessed. This one to Thomas Poulter. And it's going to be 4-on-3.
Yeah,
No, it is going to be a 4-on-4. So the penalty to Charlie West did expire. So it's going to be a 4-on-4 for a minute. And then the Jayhawks will have a minute power play. So a lot to work out there, but we finally got it, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, that one was pretty, pretty straightforward. He didn't argue going into the box. He knows what he did, and he's going to have to go sit for 2 because of it.
And beg your pardon, it's not Poulter sitting, it is Markowitz sitting. The 9 and 8 look very similar from this height. So it's going to be Matthew Markowitz sitting for a minor high stick call, beg your pardon. I've had a lot of interference calls, used to saying that tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. Jack mentioned the jersey matchup earlier. So this is a good time to talk about this. These SLU jerseys, I like them. They feel like some late 2000s, early 2010s, like Reeboks. Like, I think that those are some of the nicest jerseys, and I think this is a really good jersey matchup here. Some of them, Jack, some of them. You gave me a disgusted look. Some of them were nice. Others, what, are you a Fisherman fan? Did you like the Fisherman?
I love the
one?
Fisherman. I'm
Okay.
just saying the Blues yellow piping jerseys were not my favorite.
Yeah, the Oilers ones.
Oh, those were gross.
Those are terrible.
Landis centering on the doorstep for Feeney. Nice save by Max Belly. And we've seen him make quite a few 5-hole saves tonight, Jack.
Belly has just been tested on just about literally everything tonight. Every kind of shot from a Michigan, from 5-hole glove, blocker, everything, man. I mean, he has played his heart out, and he is just an excellent goaltender.
Off the draw, Brett Siddons works around nicely. RJ Lube. Siddons works around it again. Shot on by Siddons, saved by Belly. And Brett Siddons showing off his stick handling in those last couple of seconds.
Yeah.
Brett Siddons is just an excellent stick handler. It doesn't really feel like he shows it off very often. He tends to kind of pass first or try to find the open man, but when he's all alone, he is a dangerous puck handler.
25 seconds left on this 4-on-4 for both these teams before the Jayhawks get a power play. Far walls, Malcolm Johnson tries to work into Brett Siddons. Brett Siddons shot. Glove save by Belly. Max Belly, put yourself on a clinic tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they should hang his jersey from the rafters the way he stood in there tonight. He's just getting, I mean, he saved 41 of 46. He's been great.
Hanging in the rafters in the Webster Groves Ice Arena. It's one of my favorite arena names I think I've seen in the ACHA.
Shout out Webster Groves, Jack, St. Louis
Shout out Webster Groves, man. That's where I learned to skate.
There you go. A little history there for
They're going to put your name in
Jack Maurice. Working around. This is Stutzer. Stutzer trying to work it through the crease. Can't, but a nice job by the young man to be speedy with it. Here's Rowan Vaughn as he enters cleanly with Callaghan. Tries to go across ice to Callaghan, but that's broken up by the Billikens.
Jack, I think they're going to hang your name up there, too. Just like
Oh,
Jack,
yeah, dude.
Jack Maurice learned how to skate here.
They taught me everything I need to know there.
Lang, slap shot, saved by Belly as we're approaching 50 shots on goal tonight for the Jayhawks, and they're working on the power play.
Yeah,
Someone
I mean,
needs to help Belly out, man. I mean, he is just –
Poor guy's getting peppered.
oh, absolutely. Can we put Swag Surf back on?
That was nice. I enjoyed that.
Face-off comes to the right side of the net of Belly, and the Billikens had 5 on the ice there for a second. Now Stutzer on the ice. Of course, the Jayhawks on a power play, so they'll be on the power play for the next 34 seconds. Callaghan works to keep it in on the backhand. Callaghan from outside the circle. Up to Lang, back to Callaghan, playing a little hot potato. Callaghan will feed it to Vaughn. Vaughn back to Lang. Finally, the far side of the ice gets worked to Feeney, but goes right back to Lang, back to Vaughn, back to Lang. Feeney from the dot. High slot, Siddons. Vaughn shot off the side of the net. And getting that one out is John West with 4 seconds remaining on the power play. That'll about do it as Markowitz will make his way out of the box. John Feeney, Belly behind the net as his pass attempted off the glass will go up into the netting out of play. And yet again, we'll get a new puck from the scores table. Boy, they're using a lot of pucks over there from the scores table tonight.
I think that tells you just how aggressive both teams are playing right now. They are throwing those sticks around, just trying to get anything going, especially SLU down 3 goals here in the last 8 minutes. They're going to need a jolt, Ryan. They need somebody to wake them up. They look dead on the bench.
And how exactly, what are we looking for to get, we'll talk about it here in a second. Shot by Huber goes off of Aiden Siddons' side and couldn't get to the net front.
Poor Aiden
of
Siddons.
Belly.
Rough night for the kid.
Far shot from the blue line by Lube, saved by Vetter. Thought he would have covered up, but he'll instead dump it to the right side, and this puck's down to ice, and an icing called here against the Jayhawks. And if you're a Billiken, this is exactly what you're looking for right now, gentlemen. Some offensive zone faceoffs. How does St. Louis get back in this game?
Spark. They need a spark. They haven't had the spark yet, but they have leaders on that team. One of the captains needs to step up. One of the seniors needs to step up. They know this is the end of the road for most of them, aside from Beer League, of course. But, and playing with a team like this is the end of the road for some of these seniors. So they need to step up and give this team, Billikens team, a jolt.
Shot from an awkward angle, saved by Vetter, picked up in front of the net by Hearn. That's Jayhawk center. Huber, Aiden Siddons. Siddons drags, loses an edge as he goes down in a big hit against him. Nothing called there. Looked pretty clean to me. Still had the puck on his stick as we play on.
Aiden Siddons is going to need a full ice bath after this game. He's getting rocked around.
Headman tipped off the stick of R.J. Lube. So no icing called here. Roberts tries to work around Lube, though, intercepts. And we're behind the net. Hearn, a long distance, and sends it down the length of the ice, and it's going to be another icing against the Jayhawks, and just another reason for hope for the Billiken fans, an offensive zone faceoff. And they've been winning their fair share of faceoffs this game.
Jayhawks have left the door open ajar. It's all up to the Billikens now to see what they can do. Jack, who do you think the big impact player is on the ice for the Billikens right now, Jack, from what you've seen today? The goalie? Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it.
Just a point from Jack and Maurice is all we need. Max Belly keeping the Billikens in this game. Aiden Siddons has a streaking Bowerly, tries to find him, but puts it at least a couple feet in front of his stick. So no opportunity for Bowerly there to put anything on net. Stutzer works around Huber.
Stutzer's stick handling is nice.
Stutzer tries to find his way around Schubert, does, and centers it, but it goes off a Jayhawk stick and into the far boards.
KU defense was right there where they needed to be. That was beautiful. I bet you that coaching staff is happy after that one, Ryan.
6.5 left in this game between the St. Louis Billikens out of Matcha Silver East and your Jayhawks out of Matcha Silver West. Stutzer trying to push Schubert around, trying to help him out, though, down there as a fellow Jayhawk defender, and this puck is loose and finally picked up by Huber.
They might have numbers, Ryan.
Bowerly. Those numbers went away immediately. Nice poke check by Charlie West.
Ooh.
And alongside Jack Maurice and Daniel Schmidt, I'm Ryan Cartman, bringing you the first of the final 2 games this season for both these respective programs.
Yeah, no Wash U series in a couple weeks, so this is it.
Yeah, that
two.
one I heard was actually canceled before the season even started. I didn't realize it until a few weeks ago, but either way, or actually until last week when you brought it up to my attention. But the Jayhawks up 5-2 in this one. 48 shots on goal for KU, 26 for the Billikens. The highlight tonight, Rowan Vaughn getting his 40th point of the season. The lone Jayhawk to get 40 points up on the board this season. 5:20 remain in this one.
As I said earlier, Rowan Vaughn's really stepped in for some of those key players like Caleb Dussault and Tyler Nelson they lost last year. I've been a big fan of him so far, Ryan.
Mantis O'Neill in the 4th line out for the Hawks as he has that on the stick. Passed over to Kyle Mead. Mead loses it, and it's played along the near boards. Osberg pushes it up with his right hand, but gives it up right to a Billiken and Aiden Phillips. Kept along the blue line, though, nicely by the Jayhawks. It's Mead down below. Mead, backhand, tries to center. Nobody home for KU. The only person home was John West for St. Louis. West pushes it around to far corner. It's Frades. Puck behind the net of Vetter. Beg your pardon, icing called against the Billikens. And we're just over 4:32 remaining in this 3rd period. And 4:32 remaining for the 3 of us calling KU hockey games.
I know, this is absolutely brutal. I've had the honor and privilege to do this with Ryan for the past 2 or 3 years here. And
3 years.
Hey, come on, man.
Don't short us.
I will never short us, Ryan. I've loved every minute of it.
Yeah, and I mean, Ryan, I just want to let you know I appreciate everything you've done for me because I didn't call hockey before coming here, and you were the play-by-play guy. And you kind of took me under your wing those first couple weeks and made me into what I am now.
And I can say the same of Gabe Daniel. For sure, him taking me under his wings. And, man, look where we found ourselves now. Cross ice. This is Ibis from the top of the circle. Ibis shot. Glove saved by Belly. It's kind of hard when you're calling hockey to have these nice little moments, because as soon as you know Ibis is taking a shot on the net of Belly.
Harry Ibis is always dangerous. You can't let him sit there.
Just over 240 seconds remain in this hockey game, 2:41 to be exact, if you want to do a little math from home. Charlie West works it around near half wall. Headmanned up by Holtz, but it finds the skates of Roberts, and Kai Vetter coming aggressively out of his net to play that one and finds Feeney cross ice. Roberts will cross it to Hearn. Hearn will feed it up to John Feeney. Here comes Feeney. Feeney shot. Kick save by Belly. Near half wall. Siddons tries to put it in front of the net. He does. Hoping John Feeney would get there in the nick of time, but he couldn't. As John Feeney looks up to the hockey gods after that one, wishing he could have that one back.
Yeah, I mean this Billikens team, they're fighting out here. They're a little, they've got a good contingent out here, but they're still a little bit light. So this is good for them.
Yeah, only 15 skaters for this Billikens team, Daniel. Very, very thin bench for the Billikens. That's something we talked about with Liam Knob before the game. Here's Roman Vaughn entering. Vaughn on the backhand tries to go 5-full. Yet again covering it up. Max Belly, what a job by the freshman netminder. Schubert along to Stanchion. Centering there for Vaughn. Vaughn couldn't get it through the Billiken defenseman, but as I was saying earlier, this Billikens bench has been depleted this whole year, and talking with Liam Knob, they're just looking for hard work and drive out of the guys who are on the team, as there's a shot by Stutzer that doesn't go through. But he's just looking for drive, commitment, passion out of the guys who are playing, and he says he's found that from his guys all year round through the valleys and the mountaintops. High slot shot, saved by Belly. A nice open net there Lang had, but getting there in the nick of time to break that up, that was Charlie West.
Yeah, Charlie West, right place, right time, played the D position perfectly right there, saved his goalie from his 6th goal against.
Speaking of Charlie West, here he is behind the net, turns it over to Vaughn, or looked like he would, but West along the boards. He'll actually instead turn it over to Zdakis. Zdakis shot off the post, a ringer from Zach Zdakis. Couldn't get home, as here come the Billikens the other way. This is Alex Pasick. He couldn't get through Zach Schubert. Pasick, though, again with an opportunity. Rebound opportunity there for Frades. Couldn't bang that one home. A minute 48 remaining. And this one, Pasick had a great breakaway opportunity vying for his 4th goal of the season, but just couldn't get it home. Losing a stick is Schubert, so he'll have to go retrieve it, but his puck's in neutral ice, so the Billikens have to touch up.
I know that he checked the the post right there. I know Zdakis hurts on that one. Only 1 point this year, 1 assist in 10 games. He was looking for that goal right there.
And you see Belly tapping his post after that one, saying thank you very much for keeping that puck out. Johnson, dangerous turnover. Here's Stutzer. Stutzer couldn't get a shot through the Jayhawks defense. And Bowerly picks it up with 66 seconds remaining. Stripping along the blue line there. Big hit put on Bowerly by Stutzer as everybody gets up. No harm, no foul. Turned over. Aiden Siddons in front of the net. Huber with him. And recovering that there is Belly after an almost disastrous sequence of events.
I feel so bad for Aiden Siddons. That's like his 5th good shot right there.
Oh, my God, dude. That was – I would have sworn that was going in. I had my hands on my head, defensive cobra, mouth wide, dude. I could not believe that shot did not go in.
Little Surrender Cobra from Jack Maurice.
Here is Slew centering. Nice little backhand opportunity there by Stutzer, and we're going to have a penalty here. And yet another interference goal. I had my head down on my notes. Didn't see exactly what happened, gentlemen, but it's going to be another interference This one against
that
Malcolm
Malcolm
Johnson. Malcolm Johnson going to sit for an interference call in.
Man, I thought we were going to make it. Usually he gets at least one minor a game. He got one at the end of the Saturday's game, and he just got one there. Oh, another 2 minutes for Malcolm. He's got to be up there in ACHA this year for minutes.
39.8 seconds remaining in this third period, and a lot of memories running through all our minds right now over these past 2 to 3 years for sure. Memories that, well, now 28 seconds can't even begin to describe. Roberts at the dot. Hearn. 18 seconds remain. Back to Roberts, 15 seconds. Puck sent down the length of the ice. No icing here. Getting that is Charlie West. 6 seconds remain. Brett Siddons will just dump that one in, and the Jayhawks will be happy with a major 5-2 bounce back win as Kai Vetter puts on a clinic for the Jayhawks. And the Jayhawks offense comes up with a much-needed onslaught against the Billikens.
Yeah, I mean, just what a game. I mean, I feel for Belly. I mean, Belly, excuse me, he was in net all night, really, just fighting his butt off. 56 shots against, he only gives up 5. I mean, just a good night for the kid. I mean,
absolutely, Dan. I mean, you really said it there. What a night. He just absolutely insane save percentage there. Dan doing the calculations, Mr. Math Man.
9-1 save percentage, and he still got the loss and gave up 5 goals. That one's just tough right there. You know that they're frustrated about that one. They're going to try and come back tomorrow.
Absolutely.
A little bit more energized and on the defensive end, of course.
Mm-hmm. Last game of the season tomorrow, Ryan.
Yeah, before we look into the last game of the season, let's talk about this game just a little bit. So, for the Jayhawks, the goal scorers Rowan Vaughn, Danny Callaghan, Aiden Siddons, Blake Kern getting his first goal of the season on the power play, and Harry Ives getting goals in back-to-back games. What went right tonight, gentlemen, for this Jayhawks offense?
Blake Kern, easy enough. That goal really kick-started everything, just way far out. I mean, everybody kind of thought that he was just throwing it on net and it just hits the back of the net. That really kick-started everything. That started 3 or 4 straight unanswered goals there. I mean, without that, none of this really happens.
Yeah, I mean, just energy. This team looked deflated last weekend. They looked deflated at the start of the first. They looked deflated throughout the first. They got a little bit better near the end, and then Brett Siddons, of course, gives that speech. They go down and immediately fire back. And I mean, that's what this team needs to do. This team has talent. This team can win. This team should be a playoff team if they play up to their caliber. The only problem is they played down to their opponents way too many times this season.
Well said, Dan. Well said.
And you look at the aggressiveness that we talked about of Kai Vetter out of his net, saving 26 of the 28 shots he faced. And, boy, he had some tough saves to make tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, Kai was just tested all night. He was sprawling left to right, right to left. He was doing everything that he can to get the Jayhawks the win in this game. And, I mean, he's been playing like this for the past couple of series this year. I mean, last week against Mizzou, the scoreboard may not show it, but he was elite in the net, saving some pretty incredible shots. I mean, to anybody who's really been watching our games this season, it's no surprise that he's performing the way that he has.
You talked about saving incredible shots. How about Max Belly tonight? Again, you said a plus 900 save percentage, facing 56 shots, and boy, what a job he did.
Absolutely, man. I mean, he was elite too. He was the only reason that this game wasn't 10-2. There's some unreal shots. I mean, some lucky saves by the post, but he did everything that he was supposed to do. It's really up to his team to support him and play a little better in front of him as well.
Yeah, Daniel, what are we looking for tomorrow from this Jayhawks team to try to scrape out and finish a series sweep and go into the offseason with some momentum?
Close it out for the seniors. I guess that's the biggest and most obvious goal for this team. These seniors have done so much for you. A lot of these guys were on the team 2 years ago when they had the big win and went to the playoffs where they unfortunately fell, but those guys know that. Those guys have done a lot for the program. They've helped put Kansas on the map. I mean, ACHA is one of the fastest growing club organizations, I'd say, in the United States, and it's because of players who come out and play their heart out and put a good, really, really good product on the ice for the fans every night, and I think it's going to skyrocket here over the next couple of years as people get into hockey, especially at the college level in these college towns.
Yeah, totally agree there. And Jack, for the Billikens tomorrow, what needs to go better for them?
You need to play spoiler maker at this point. I mean, you could already tell kind of starting the first and second, Billikens really had the Jayhawks on their toes. They come out, get that quick goal, and then again getting that second goal just really quick in front of the net, top right corner. I mean, the Billikens had all of the keys to be successful in this game, and they just kind of fell apart. The coaches need to go back and reanalyze what went right in that first period and how they can adjust their game plan for tomorrow and just, ruin the night. That's what they got to play as. There's not really a lot to play for either of these teams, and
it's bragging rights.
It's bragging. Yeah, exactly. It's bragging rights at this point. So I think that'll be more than enough for these two teams to put up a real competitive game tomorrow.
Well, gentlemen, what a last couple years it's been, huh?
Absolutely,
We've had some
Ryan.
fun. I mean, I remember I called, I think it was Creighton or UNL with you back at ICI from the corner where you couldn't see anything. And
man.
My first broadcast, I ran cam and did color, and it was beautiful. I almost didn't come back, but Ryan really kind of, after I worked with Ryan a couple more times, and, he's a great guy to work with. He's got a lot of talent, and I'm glad that I got to work with you the last 2 years, Ryan.
Really?
Appreciate you.
I've had the pleasure of working with Ryan here. Him and I have gotten to call some games here. I mean, this has been the very sad pre-Dan days here at KU Hockey, but him and I have had the chance, since Gabe left to really pick it up, and, he's everything that I could ask for in a partner here.
Yeah, and I mean, Gabe set the standard. I didn't know him because I came in a little bit later, but, everything last year especially, it was, build on what Gabe did. I know Ryan, you did a phenomenal job, and I know he's proud of you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're right. Talking like he's gone.
No, he's still
dead.
here. He's gone but not forgotten.
He called me a couple days ago asking me to play Fortnite. Sorry, Gabe, I need to return your call back. But no, man, we've had an excellent couple of years here, Ryan, and you've done a great job at picking this up here. There's nobody else I'd rather do this with.
Yeah, I do miss the road trips, I will say. I remember doing
Really?
the matcha playoffs 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, those are
I
good.
remember 2 years ago. We went to St. Louis, went to Winsfield, where Maryville's rink is, and I just remember doing that. Was you, me, Gabe, had a couple of the old female staff members with us as well, and boy, that was a fun trip. Just lots of good memories made there on the car rides, and man, I thought Super Bowl Sunday as well too. I remember missing probably a quarter and a half of the Super Bowl too, but hey, you know what? It's fun when you get to make memories with your friends, man.
Absolutely, man.
Well, man, you guys are going to be taking the reins, these next.
Yeah, you said that, Ryan, and about 30 people watching the broadcast. The 30 people that I left groaned in their living rooms.
But no, you guys are taking the reins after this, and excited to see where you guys take this broadcast. Jack, your technical expertise, and Dan, I know you got your play-by-play, coming from KJHK. So we'll see. I'm excited to see where you guys take this. I know Gabe. Hopefully he's excited too. I don't know. He said he wants to play Fortnite with you, so hopefully
Bill in the cam.
Hopefully I'll play Fortnite with him soon here.
But man, with that, it kind of seems unfair that only 10 minutes. We only get 5 or 10 minutes up here before we got to pack up. Can't even begin to elaborate and explain on all the memories that we made these past 2 to 3 years together calling these games.
Dang.
Wow.
Dude, this is tough.
Yeah.
Ryan,
Well,
we will remember you, okay?
We'll put Cartman in the rafters here.
Yeah, Ryan Cartman's going up in the rafters.
By the rafters, the fluorescent lights that
put number 20,
give us
number 29 up there. Favorite number. But with that one, the Jayhawks take it 5-2. Goals again coming from Harry Ibis, Rowan Vaughn, Danny Callaghan, Aiden Siddons, and the first goal of the season coming courtesy of the power play for Blake Hearn. And for the Billikens, it is Evan Lepresti getting his 9th goal of the year, and Ryan Frates getting his 8th goal of the year. And boy, we had a lot of minor interference penalties called as well. But hey, you know what? Jayhawks won, and they'll take a 3-goal win either way as they look to finish the series sweep, off tomorrow, 4:15 p.m. puck drop Central Time, right back here from Overland Park, Kansas. Any last words from you guys as you guys wind out your 2025-2026 hockey hockey season.
Let's get this win tomorrow.
Let's get the dub tomorrow, Ryan. That's your senior day right there, man. You get to call it solo, so that'll be fun for you. And I know Jack and I, even though we're both away in Lawrence working different things, have different obligations, we're definitely gonna be tuning in.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't miss that for the world. Come on.
Yeah, we're gonna have some seniors too, Don. We got guys like John Feeney, Zach Roberts, Blake Hearn, Malcolm Johnson. I mean, that's 3 defensemen right there. 3 top 2-line defensemen that the Jayhawks will be losing. And Zach Schubert as well, a senior out of Lincoln. So a lot of defensemen the Jayhawks are losing. Forward should stay the same for next year, but I think right now people are just more focused on the senior day. That's to come tomorrow. So again, the Jayhawks take this game 5-2 here in Overland Park over to Billikens. Puck drop tomorrow, scheduled for 4:15 p.m. as Jayhawks look to finish off the series sweep and head into the offseason with some momentum. So for the final time, alongside Jack Maurice and Daniel Schmidt, I'm Ryan Cartman saying so long from Overland Park, Kansas.